remember when I used to do these videos more often? Yeah, me too. But I'm gonna make up for lost time because I read 10 books in the month of April, and I'm actually pretty proud of all the variety I had going on. First up, there was the usual young adult draw. I read The Queen of Bright and Shiny Places by Anne Aguirre. This was the story about two sort of outcasts in high school who they both have some serious family issues going on, but they end up finding each other and learning to lean on each other, especially when those truths come out. Next was All the Rage by Courtney Summers. This was the first time I've read a Courtney Summers book, and it's about a girl named Romy who has been through a lot. She was raped previously by a popular boy in town, and since she's from the wrong side of the tracks, no one believed her. So she's dealing with all of this rage and all of this feeling that's been building up inside her. Meanwhile, another girl who she and her rapist have a connection with, she's gone missing, and now Romy has to decide if she's going to come out and tell the truth or if she's going to keep quiet like people keep telling her to. In the mood for a bit of fantasy, I read Crimson Bound by Rosamund Hodge. This was a sort of retelling of Little Red Riding Hood, kind of. Not really. But it takes place in the same world as her first book, Cruel Beauty, which I have not yet read, but if there was any crossover, I didn't notice it. It felt very fine as a standalone, and definitely an interesting twist on an old tale. And then there were my two favorite young adult books of the month, A Court of Thorn and Roses and Saint Anything by Sarah J. Maas and Sarah Dessen, respectively. Oh my gosh, you guys, these two books completely blew me away. This is epic fantasy. This twist on the traditional Beauty and the Beast story left me flushed and in awe and amazed, and I cannot wait for book 2. And with Saint Anything, people are describing this as Sarah Dessen's darkest book, but I think it's not dark, it just is so real. It does not shy away from any of those feelings that so many of us experience. This is one of her finest books. Both of these Sarahs really hit it out of the park, and I thoroughly enjoyed both of these. And I should mention that all of these books were advanced readers' copies provided by the publishers, either through the mail or at the ALA Midwinter Conference back in January. So thank you so much, publishers, for your generosity. But I didn't just read young adult. Like I said, I did a little bit of branching out. In the world of biography, I read Hole in My Life, Jack Gantos' memoir. I was actually lucky enough to meet Jack Gantos last week. He gave a talk at the Chicago Public Library, and he is hilarious and amazing, and it was so great to meet him. And now I really am so much more interested in rereading his memoir and seeing how those experiences shaped this man that I met. It was really just an incredible story. Something that I definitely don't usually read is speeches, but I had to pick up Very Good Lives by J.K. Rowling. This printing of her 2008 Harvard commencement address is just great for when you're feeling a little bit lost, when you maybe aren't quite so sure of where you're going, and even better, if you buy this book, some of the money goes towards Lumos, the charity that she runs, so it's a win-win. Since April was National Poetry Month, I finally got myself to finish reading an entire collection of poetry. This year, I read The Essential Neruda, Pablo Neruda, which I have been wanting to read ever since I read Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, because she mentions Neruda a lot. His work was very moving, and a lot of his imagery was incredible. The translators really did a great job going from Spanish to English. I also love short stories, and this month I read Irish Girls About Town. I am a person who is starting to like chick lit. I went to Ireland last year, so it was so fun to sort of revisit that and get these pictures in my head, and it was a really diverse collection from a wide range of women Irish authors. And finally, a book that I feels like I've been reading forever, but I finally finished, a classic, North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. It was great. It was not exactly like the miniseries that I fell in love with, but it was so good on its own. I feel like I have a greater understanding of the time period. It's an accessible classic for those of you who might be afraid of like high, floaty, flowery language. I didn't feel overwhelmed by this book. I took my time with it, and I'm so glad that I did. So those are the 10 books that I read in April. The ones that I felt very strongly about, I will be fangirling about in videos on their own. All of my usual links are down below. Comments are always welcome. That's it for me for now. Take care. Bye!